Ish. Man, it's like sometimes I say caught between the filters. Doesn't get any realer. Cash me out with these millions. I said I'm passing on your feelings. I said you caught me in the filters. Doesn't get any realer. I said cash me out with millions. I said I'm passing on your feelings. Dope dealing, them Brazilian, they so appealing. Let go of the ceiling and feel connection to the vibe. Caught between the filters, always sticking when I'm high. Hit the.
You're listening to Mustang Radio. This is the Bro Show on 91.3 FM, KWWM, Western Wyoming Community College, here in Rock Springs, Wyoming. I am your host, Braden Conover, joined by my co-host,
Lil Days. We have a very special guest on the show today by the name of D.Oz. For all of you who aren't familiar with him, he's a 21-year-old hip-hop artist currently living in Las Vegas. He has 3 full projects under his belt and has worked with many talented musicians such as Lucky, YG Tut, Chester Watson, Mulatto Beats, Burning Giraffe, Max Wonders, and many more. What's good, man?
Yo, what's good, man? Thanks for having me. How you guys doing?
Well, we're doing great.
Good, man. Glad to hear it.
Awesome. Are you ready to get into this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hi, bet. All right, so where are you from? I know you just moved to Las Vegas, but
yeah. So originally I'm from Las Vegas. I stayed some years out in Minnesota. I lived in Vegas for 10 years, but after I'd say about elementary school, I moved out to Minnesota. Stayed there until I finished high school. And, I went to college at upstate New York, Ithaca, for about a year, and now I'm back in Vegas, man.
How you like it?
Yeah, honestly, I love it. As a kid, I had some different thoughts about it, but now that I'm of age, I see a whole different side of it. It's amazing.
That's awesome.
Sweet.
So, what age did you start getting into hip-hop?
Oh, man, that's a tough question. My siblings were always, pushing 90s hip-hop on me. I loved it. I listened to it as a kid. I'd say when I really started getting into hip-hop was around high school, though.
Hey.
Because I've been writing for a long time. I've been just inspired by music, but until I got into the production side of it, I saw a whole different aspect of it, and I was just in love with it.
So what time, when did you actually get into producing, or was that like the first step, or did you start rapping first?
So, that was about the beginning of high school. I was rapping. I wouldn't say I was freestyling before I started producing. I used to write music, but the music wasn't that good. Once I got into hip hop, started freestyling. The form was just there. I just fell in love with it, and I don't know. I mean, I just drew my inspiration from a lot of things, and Jay Dilla and Madlib.
Oh yeah,
they were my huge inspirations when it comes to production. So I know how to do something about it. So I'd say my high school.
That's sick, man. And I also saw on your Twitter that, like you said, you used to like mix intros and outros like with the volume and stuff, and that's cool, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, when you were like getting into start producing, doing hip hop and stuff, did you have anybody that you consider as your mentor or somebody you looked up to as far as showing you the ropes to the game, or just who you thought you learned the most from?
Right now, honestly, my biggest inspiration was Mac Miller.
Hey.
I love that dude. Yeah, I mean, I had a really tough time when he passed.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't been putting out so much music lately. I've just been taking some time to reflect. But, he's a big inspiration for me.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's sick.
So what high school did you go to?
So I was out in Minnesota at the time. It's a place called Hopkins High School.
Hey.
Notorious called Hopkins.
Hey.
Sweet.
And
you claimed to be a stoner back in high school, isn't that right?
Yes. Actually, it started in junior high, like late junior high.
Yeah.
It was those bonfire parties, just what's going on, early experiences. But yeah, once I got into high school, I was in it big time.
That's sick.
I still am, but I mean, now I'm in a place where it's recreational. I have to worry about things that I used to, and I don't know. It takes a lot of paranoia off me.
Yeah,
I feel like.
For sure. So when you were like when you were in high school, like making beats and stuff, like did people rock with it? Like were they like, yeah, like go get that D.O.Z. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
See, the funny thing is, man, is not that many people really actually knew who I was, because when we started out, well, when I started out at least, I was with a group called the Dope Fiends.
Yeah,
And I started that out. If you've heard that.
Yep.
So I formed that with a couple of my really good friends I went to high school with, Johnny K, and Nico.
Yeah.
His name's Nick.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I don't know. It was just good times.
So is the Dope Fiends, is that still a thing?
Say that again?
Is the Dope Fiends, the group still a thing?
Man. See, you know what? There's been a little some tender moments here and there. We've all kind of gone our own separate ways. But would I say that there couldn't be more music? I mean, yeah. I mean, whenever I go back to Minnesota and we get in the studio, who knows what could happen.
That's sick, man. I'm actually a big fan of the production on the Dope Fiends, the project.
Yeah,
you and Nika worked on that together, didn't you?
Yep. You know, we pretty much locked ourselves in a room for a month straight. I pretty much sent him about 30 samples of songs that, you know, I was rocking with at the time. The instrumentals. And we ended up just flipping them. We ended up just staying in the room, flipping the beats. Johnny K was into sports. You would get back from baseball, come back, you would spit some raps with us. We'd be in the lab the whole time. And, you know, after probably, I'd say about a month, we came out with that tape. And to this day, I love it.
That's sick, man.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, how did you meet Neek and Johnny K?
You know, it's funny because when I first moved out to Minnesota, I was on a fall ball team for baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I met John there initially. We weren't really good friends. We just kind of saw each other. And then kind of around high school, I ended up becoming friends with him again. And he's really good friends with Nico.
Uh-huh.
So, I mean, when that kind of happened, we just all clashed together. We just started making music.
That's dope, man. Huh.
Yeah, kind of going back to what you were saying, though, is like what you asked earlier. And, you know, not that many people really knew who I was because John and Nico were doing this, you know, probably about a year before me.
Uh-huh.
There's another guy that I went to school with. You know, he used to go by Lux God. They call him Luxies now, I believe it's pronounced. He's amazing. You know, they were making music with him back in the day.
Uh-huh.
And I love what they were doing. I came back to it, and it just kind of came full force.
That's sick, man. So let's talk about Stoner Hours for a minute. The mixtape is 8 songs long and very well put together. What made Joshua the right fit to executive produce for the executive producer on that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Shout out to Joshua. I think he changed his name to Sobi Kenobi these days, but you know, don't say to his producer.
my bad.
No, it's all good. You know, I met him in college. I only went to, like I mentioned earlier, I only went to Ithaca, upstate New York for 1 year. I met him at college through one of my friends. We only met each other, I want to say, like one time in person, but we always just had this vibe in music. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, every time he sent me a pack of beats, like, I go crazy over them. So he sent me something. That was actually probably, I want to say, the first pack of beats he ever sent me. I took all of them. I went back to Minnesota during, like, winter break, I want to say. I spit my raps at home. I came back. I showed it to him. You know, we mixed it. All was good. I love Stoner Hours.
That's sick.
Oh,
man.
that's sweet.
Can we expect any songs coming in the future with Joshua?
Man, you know, I'm working on an album right now.
Hey.
I don't know if I'm going to be dropping a single anytime soon. I'm kind of at that stage where it needs to build, and if it doesn't, you know, I got 2 good songs that I'm sitting on.
Uh-huh.
But, you know, if I get that body of work, I don't feel like I want to represent that yet.
Yeah, for sure. And Rox Ran is featured on the mixtape as well. That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I haven't heard from him in a long time. He spits really well, man. I feel like we should maybe make another track together. I was playing I Don't Know the other day. I love that track.
Yeah, I love that one too. That's sick.
Thank you.
And on the song Stoner Hours, I noticed there was some hidden lyrics in the beginning.
Yep. Yeah. You know what? I could be wrong, but it was something that I recorded, maybe like a hook or like a verse that was already spit. And, you know, Josh, Joshua Sobi Kenobi, whatever you want to call him. He flipped that whole thing. He just reversed the whole thing. And I guess you would have to go back and re-reverse it to really like hear what I'm saying, because man, that's a great question. I haven't even heard that for a long time.
Yeah. I was just on Audacity, like just censoring some of your music, and I was like, I want to see what this is, like, because I could tell it was a reverse. So I was like, nah, I'm gonna flip this and see what it is.
I appreciate that. You know what? And it was really inspired by when I was at college around the time Damn came out by Kendrick. So, you know, he did a lot of that where he was reversing his things, and that kind of intrigued me. Like, it makes people kind of want to get into that song a little bit more because, yeah, like you said, there was a hidden message. I never really thought of it till now, but I would say that was a big inspiration for why it happened.
Do you remember the lyrics? I kind of tried to decipher them, but I wasn't really sure about a couple words. I was just gonna read the quote, but I was like, nah, I don't want to mess up his lyrics.
You know what, man? I'd have to go back to
yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, my bad, man.
Nah, you're good.
I'm going to have to bring that up to Josh now. I'm going to have to send him this, and he's going to be like, yep, I'm going to have to pick that up.
That's sick, man. Shout out to Josh.
Yeah, thanks.
I feel your energy, rising through the space, connected to create. I'm just seeing what it takes. Test the beat tape, hidden treasure underwater, then I'm floating over lake. 10,000 passing by me and I'm late. So awake and I'm thinking of my fate. Dip the brush and I'll paint them words like Mona Lisa's face. They asking why I don't smile like every single day.
Use the phrase "don't blow my high" in multiple of your songs. So like, what potentially like kind of like blows the high, like just ruins the experience for you?
You know what? That's a great question, man. Thank you for asking that.
Yeah.
There's so many times where I'm just like, I don't even have to be high, but I'm just such like a high in general. Like,
yeah, for sure.
You're in a good mood, let's say, you know, and there's so many things going on around you that, you know, may not even necessarily like pertain to you, but there's just, it's nonsense, basically. Like the things that you don't necessarily have to put a second thought into, that's the stuff that blows my high. It's like, if it's really important and it means something to me, like, you know, we can discuss it, but the people who come in and like bring nonsense into my life, I try to like, you know, take a little step back from that these days because I don't necessarily need that going on.
For sure.
Hey, so going back to your roots, to your beginnings, you know, where did your name come up from? Like, what inspired you to come up with that name?
Did you ask where I got my name from? Sorry, your mic's a little.
Yeah, your name. Yeah, where did D.Oz come from?
You know, my friend Zach Bloom. I went to high school with him. We had a bunch of homerooms together. I knew him for a long time. We were walking on our way to class, and he was, you know, I was just telling him, like, you know, we're starting the Dope Fiends. I need a name. I need something going for me. And the homies kind of just always knew I was going back to the crib every day, you know, pretty much picking up an ounce. We smoked like half of it.
Right, yeah.
Going on songs. And eventually, like, you know, we were walking to class one day. He was like, D.O.Z. And at first, I was sitting there like, no, that couldn't be it. But you know what? I mean, if someone gives you a name, I feel like it kind of sticks more than naming yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, it just kind of stayed, I guess.
Yeah, that's sweet. Let's see. So when you're making a beat, do you like to start with the melody or the drums more?
Man, it really depends what kind of mood I'm in. You know, sometimes when I'm doing something like strictly more, I want to say like boom bap, or like it's more pertaining to the drums, I'm gonna start with the drums always. But for me, like to get the drums sounding right, I have to come up with the melody first.
Yeah. And
so it's a lot of tweaking. It's a lot of going back and forth. I mean,
for sure.
But I'd say, yeah, to answer your question, most of the time the drums.
Okay, sweet.
What software do you use?
I use Reason and Logic.
Yeah, Reason. That's what's up. I use Reason too.
Super underrated, man. I don't know that many people that use it, but the ones that do know how to use it, you know what's up.
For sure. Like, I feel like everyone's all about like Fruity Loops and like Logic and all that. But
Fruity
like,
Loops and Ableton, man. I mean, everyone's obsessed with that. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I just feel like if you're really trying to be a step more creative than everybody else and take, you know, a different route, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
Everybody's using the same things. It gets a little oversaturated.
So back in 2017, you had a chance to collab with Lucky on the song "Anybody, Any Order." How did that
Yep.
How did that come together?
So, interesting story, man. Lucky back in the day, this was, I want to say, kind of right around the time when he dropped Lucky X, and he just became Lucky.
Yeah.
I hit him up. I was in college. I really didn't have that much money at the time, but I had enough to hit him up for a feature. And he sent me a couple tracks that he never put a second verse on. That ended up being one of them. I picked it. I paid for it. I spit a verse on it within probably a week, and then I dropped it.
That's awesome.
But interesting. Like I said, it's an interesting story because that song had some history to it. Because I'm the first one to drop Anybody, Any Order, but right after he took that exact same verse and put it on a Mulatto Beats tape. I don't know if you know 22 Summers.
Yeah.
Tape. Yeah, so Summertime Horrors, man, that's the same verse from my song that Lucky put in that same song with a different beat. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's sick.
And then they ended up getting Dash on the remix. So I'm like, oh my God, man. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
How I feel, I back in the day, I was a little salty. I was like, I could have maybe been at that point, but the fact that, the real ones who actually heard my version of it, and then the fact that I even got on a Mulatto, I was working with him at the time, but that tape, I love that tape. I'm looking forward to his next project, too. I can't really complain because good music's good music. You can't really hate if someone's going to take it's kind of like sampling, you know what I mean? Like, you can't really hate on sampling because if it's good music, then who cares?
For sure. So how did you connect with Mulatto Beats?
I was messing with Lucky and, Kari from Chicago and Saba and a bunch of people, like low-key people.
Hey.
They're big now, but
Yeah.
I was just liking the beats at the time, and this is the time I was kind of producing my own stuff, but trying to break out with some other people because I really like the music, I like the vision, but producers get such they're so underappreciated at times. I feel like I was like, I gotta hit these guys up because they're working with these guys and they're creating the whole sound, but I could be creating my own sound with them too. So
yeah.
I started just following Mulatto. I sent him a DM on Twitter, and the rest was history from there.
That's awesome, man. I just think it's so crazy, just messaging artists and just listen, for you, for instance, just listening to your music. I've been listening to it for maybe 6-7 months now. I remember I went down to Colorado, and the whole time I was there, I straight listened to Minor Imperfections the whole time.
Wow, man.
You know what I'm saying?
And
then just hitting you up and you just being so nice and responding to me and being cool and all that. It was just crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel that, man. I mean, technology is just something else, but I really, it's amazing that we can connect like this. I appreciate this opportunity, just like every other opportunity I've had with other people. It's humbling.
Yeah, for sure. Another artist I wanted to mention is Burning Giraffe, who produced a couple tracks on Minor Imperfections, as well as did the mastering and mixing for Calm Down. So tell us a little about that relationship. And
Burning Giraffe, man, that's really my guy. I mean, I've worked with a lot of producers. We've been through Josh, we've been through Mulatto. Those are my really top three is with Burning Giraffe. But Burning Giraffe's been there for me literally since the start. Before nobody even knew who I was. I don't even know how he found me on Twitter. I was messing with a guy named Alex Wiley. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Alex Wiley. That's
I love Alex Wiley, man.
That's my favorite artist, straight up.
Yeah, he is for me too. Him and Mac Miller was really all I was listening to back in the day. A couple other people, but I knew Burning Giraffe was making tracks with him.
Yeah.
And I didn't really know who he was at the time, but I eventually found out. And we just had good discussions about music before this was really even popping. And eventually I just started putting my money into supporting his dreams as well as mine. I feel like we go really well together. If he's going to show me love from the start, I'm going to show him love to the end. So it's let's do this thing.
For sure. And he has a new project out called Duality. Did you have a chance to listen to that?
No, it's amazing, man. I even told him the night it dropped. I said, this is amazing, man. I'm going to be bumping it for a long time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're
Go ahead.
oh, my bad. But yeah, we're gonna play that a couple songs off Duality after this interview is done too. So.
Good, man. Good.
I mean,
promote his music. That guy, that guy needs the exposure, man. He's so talented. He grinds so hard every day.
I think I could have sworn like I've came across him before, like even before like I connected with you, because like just being a big fan of Alex Wiley, like just going through his pages and stuff. I swear I've seen him before, and it was super cool because like we've been talking lately too, and like, you know what I'm saying, he like posted that on his story and stuff. Like, yeah, so shout out to him. Yeah, he's super cool.
Yeah, man. No, he's a really cool guy. Like I said, I mean, I didn't even know who he was at the beginning, but he's in touch with some really good artists, and he himself is a great producer. So yeah, shout out to Burning Giraffe.
Sure. So, like I said before, Minor Imperfections is probably like my favorite project that you've released so far. So, tell us a little bit like what was going through your mind, like going into that project, and like the overall message that you are giving to the audience.
Yeah. That was a tough question for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of picking people's brains to try to see what they were kind of wanting at the beginning. I honestly had that album. I had probably like 8 songs, and they weren't even any of those songs that are even on there right now. It's a completely different album. I had a completely different name for it. I'd say I maybe took maybe like 1 or 2 songs from that scrapped one, put it on this new body of work after just, I was in college at the time. I was, coming back to Minnesota, Vegas, and I only stayed about a year there. So I was going through a lot of different intervals in my life at that time. Like, it wasn't a easy adjustment for me. So I feel like Minor Imperfections was really inspired by how you just mess up. I mean, like, you see what could be great, but I mean, you're constantly making mistakes. You don't see it for what it is. So, I mean, sometimes, everything isn't perfect, but if you like it, you love it, you got to stay at it, man.
For sure. Yeah. And on the song Bless, you got a YG Tut feature. That's super cool.
Yeah.
What was it? How did you guys connect?
Yeah, I was really into Isaiah Rashad.
Yeah, Isaiah Rashad, another one.
In general. Yep, Isaiah Rashad. I knew him just like, working in Chattanooga. YG Tut was just a big artist there as well. I was inspired by his music for a little bit, and I ended up coming out with Bless. I was talking to Josh about it, and I was just like, this guy, this is the moment. Like, this sounds like him.
Yeah.
So he hit me back with that verse in about a week, and that was about like the final piece on this album. That's why with that song.
That's super dope. I remember listening to YG Tut like back in the day, like, because I remember on Preacher's Son, like he had an Isaiah Rashad feature on there, and I was super into Isaiah Rashad back in the day too. I was super into a lot of his music, but yeah, and I remember reaching to Preacher's Son, and then like when seeing like Bless on that album, I was like, no way, like it was just crazy.
Yeah, man. I mean, for the ones who know that kind of music, I have a different taste, and I can tell, like, you guys have a similar taste, but, the people who don't know YG Tut, I feel like they messed with him after that song, because, like you said, Preacher's Son, and I can't think of the new project he came out with, but, like, he really knows how to rap, man, YG Tut.
For sure. Tell us a little bit about John Sparks, who, didn't he mix and master the album?
Yeah. So, like I said, I mean, drawing a lot of inspirations from a lot of people. Action Bronson, current, people that he mixes and masters for all the time. I just felt like their sound is so clean, and it's not like, it's not even like, because trap is like so, overpowered by 808s and everything. It's like, I needed a punch to my music. I didn't need everything to be so bass focused. And I feel like he really, like, his mid-range is incredible.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
So I wanted to talk to you about "Come Down" featuring Chester Watson. What was the process with that song?
I paid him for a feature a while back. I sent him a few songs, a few beats. One of them, a couple of Thelonious Martin. I don't know if you're familiar.
Oh
with
yeah,
him.
yeah, Michael Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, man. He was into them, but not to the point where he was like you know, I want to spit something crazy on this.
Uh-huh.
So I ended up coming out with this song after just like being so frustrated with the fact that I couldn't make this happen with him.
Uh-huh.
And eventually, you know, I just recorded that within a day. I came up with the lyrics in a day. I went literally right after I wrote it, recorded it. And I don't even think it was mixed at the time. I just sent it to him.
Uh-huh.
He recorded it, sent it back to me a couple of days, and I was just like, yeah, we're going to drop this thing.
That's sick. So
Yeah.
how did Grimdoza get involved in the production on that?
Yeah, so I got a couple of his beats as well. You know,
Hey.
I still got a couple other I haven't used. I was just messing around with this stuff at the time. You know, a lot of just trying to break out of just typical rapping.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know really how to describe it. It's got kind of like that grungy vibe about it.
Uh-huh.
You know, not everybody wants to listen to something that kind of brings you down. Everyone wants to listen to something that you can dance to or whatever. But I mean, it's kind of real. You know, it gives it that real texture to it.
Uh-huh.
Grimdoza, I feel like, does a really good job of adding that to his production.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he has a lot of like kind of dark like beats and stuff.
Yep.
That's cool. And Chester Watson has been a huge inspiration. Like I listened to Chester Watson like since like Summer Mirage, so I was like,
Yeah, man.
no way. Like when I like, dude, like I feel like you just keep connecting with artists that I've been listening to forever. It's just like, dude, like this. Is it going through my playlist or what? Like, dang.
I know, man. Everybody wants a little touch of Chester. What can I say? I mean, he spits that fire. You guys know Bobby Raps?
Yeah,
Minnesota?
yeah. Bobby Raps,
yeah. Man. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I got into him originally.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, some Minnesota stuff. He kind of just has some influence, I guess, everywhere.
Yeah, that's dope. And then another song I want to talk about was "Hesitate," which is it's a sample with "Camel Blues" by Mindsign, which I thought that was really cool because I've rapped over like Mindsign's beats a couple times. Like I rap over him sometimes, and I was like, no way, like it's just like crazy.
Yeah, man, that's like you know, digging back in the days just for instrumentals, like it's whatever. It ended up. I mean, I'm glad you like that song because I love that song. It seems to just hit people in a certain way. You know, that was the first song I really came out with when I went to college. And just like a lot of shit going through it. My bad. There's a lot of
you're
stuff
good.
at the time. You know, and it feels real. And I mean, like you said, that sample, it's got a good vibe to it, but it's like, you know, that one of those, like if you listen to Mac Miller, Just My Imagination, like that's kind of what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
Like one of those hypotheticals.
And it's a very like humbling song as well, like for me especially, like just the lyrics, like expecting me to hesitate every day I'd be in my place but I can't, you know what I'm saying? It's just like very humbling, very like inspiring, very like uplifting. I really like that. It just like, you know, gives you just keeps me going at least, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I mean, you know, and it's my SoundCloud profile is a little it's a little low key, but
yeah,
I feel like the songs that I still have up there, I'm glad you guys appreciate it.
Yeah, there's good content on there. We just need to get people here, and that's why we're doing this interview.
Yep, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
So,
show.
Hey. So when can we expect like a music video, like visuals for D.Oz?
That's yo. I mean, my cousin, he is like amazing when it comes to just making videos. Like not even music videos, but you know, he's working on this documentary right now, and it's amazing. And I've been talking to him for a while, and I said, you know, when this project comes to fruition, you're gonna shoot my videos.
Hey.
You know, there's a couple other people that I would like to do something with, but you know, I'm not really at that point yet. They're way above that, and I don't really want to. I got a certain take on my vision. I feel like my cousin can do a very good job at representing that.
For sure.
He's got he's kind of like me in a way. We got the same kind of mind. We think a little bit alike. So, I mean, in the near future, I got to say, don't think too long, but hopefully sooner than later.
For sure.
Sweet.
Do you have any one that you want to like shout out for like on the album, like, or like can we get a little insight on who might be on the album, or is that no? Is that?
Shout out Relly. You know, every single producer I work with, they should just get all the love. You know, I I would shout out all these rappers, but you know what? They make it so hard for me. The ones who make my job the easiest, everything. So Mulatto Beats, shout out. Burning Giraffe, shout out. Josh, shout out. You know, Grim Doza. I don't even really talk to him that much, but he comes right. You know, it's shout out to everyone who makes my job easy. I get really fed up at times for people who make me wait too long. So yeah, I don't know. Keep it real.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
And then another single with Max Wonders, Paint a Picture. How did that get together?
Yeah, I was a little rocky, man. I mean, me and Max Wonders, I was talking to his manager. He's not really so into me. I don't know why we had a dispute, but you know, I ended up paying him. We went to the studio. He gave me my featured. I have what's it called? An extended version of that song.
Really?
But I've yet to complete the second part of it. But when it does happen, I'm gonna release it. I hope you guys like it. But Max Wonders, you know, he's a great artist. I really like his music. Manager, I don't know about that.
I feel that. So like, what can we expect for next besides the album? Like, anything else you got in your sleeve, like up your sleeve, that you're just holding on to, or?
I mean, you mean like future music or just anything?
Anything really, visuals, like anything like that you got up your sleeve that you're ready to.
Wow. Oh man, yeah, that's a tough question because you know, every day's a day. Sometimes I feel like I got new things going on. Other, it's like, why am I even doing whatever I thought I was doing? So, as of the moment, no. But can I say I won't wake up tomorrow and come up with something completely different? Yeah, who knows?
For sure. Then I saw on your Twitter that you moved to Chicago at one point, didn't you? Or
I went to Chicago. No, I work with a lot of people in Chicago. I was stayed in Minnesota.
Oh, okay. My bad.
No, it's all good.
So, but you're like super into Chicago hip hop, though. I noticed.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. You know, a lot of people were influenced by Atlanta at the time. I always thought Chicago had the best hip hop, like hands down. I mean, that was kind of. I was into it. I would say like around the time Lyrical Lemonade was actually like becoming something. And then I was like familiar with Mulatto and Kari and like Superboy, if you know, and some other people.
Like
Saba. But then, you know, now it's just grown into such a big thing. Chicago, it's like I can't even believe where it's gone to. I mean, lucky, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, you're a little older than I am, but like I remember like when I was probably like 13, 14, like listening to like Alex Wiley, Kembe X, Chance, Mick Jenkins, Vic Mensa, and like just to see where like their career is gone, it's just like amazing.
There's so many names out there. It's like hard to name them all off. It's like, yeah, they all do it so well, and it's like you don't even think of it as Chicago music. You don't even like put it into that category. It's just great music coming out of Chicago.
Yeah, for sure. Like Cole Bennett's a huge inspiration for me. You mentioned him, but yeah, like he's really cool, for sure.
There's a lot of more artists I'd like to work out with out there, but you know, they just become more popular by the day. So it's, you know, my budget is not fitting these days. I mean, they're doing some big things. Yeah.
For sure. Well, so I meant to ask you this earlier, but what was like your first song that you dropped?
Ever. That would be with the Dope Fiends. I think it was called the AM to the PM. That got a lot of mixed reviews. A lot of people weren't digging my verse. It was just kind of like one of those things where you got to throw it out there to really take that next step.
For sure.
And then we came out with, it wasn't Float All Day. It was a different track. No Trouble.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Came out with No Trouble. That was our second single ever. And people loved that song. So I knew we were doing something right at that point.
For sure. And that was a single, right?
Yeah, that was I think the second out of the 3 singles. We dropped Bankroll after that, and then dropped the whole mixtape.
And I actually tried to like find that song, but it was like disconnected, or it wasn't on SoundCloud anymore.
Yeah, Nico. Yeah, that's kind of like going back to what I said earlier. We had a little bit of tension back in the day, and he's got a little like he wants to promote his image in a different way. You know, I don't have any problem with that. He's gonna do whatever he wants to do. Back in the day, you know, we made the music on his laptop. Even though a lot of it was inspired by the both of us, he didn't necessarily feel like, because it was on his laptop, that I should get the production credits, which to this day makes no sense to me. We dropped it on his SoundCloud account because, you know, I just got into this. I didn't have any followers. And he kind of just took the credit, man, and ran with it. And then when I started doing my own thing, he took it off. I don't know if he felt some other way about it or whatever, but, you know, he's doing his thing these days. I can't disrespect his brother.
Yeah, for sure. And then Close Calls is an EP that you dropped a while back. What was it?
Yep.
What was the purpose of that EP? Just a little 2-song EP.
I think that was around the time I was working with. I dropped a tape with Lord Fubu. That didn't really get too good of reactions, but I was like working on the album and like Stoner Hours and just a bunch of projects. I think like Close Calls were kind of like those songs that I liked, but like they didn't fit with anything. It was something I personally liked, and I felt like maybe I could make an EP out of it. So yeah, I threw like 4 tracks together, put it as in Close Calls, because, you know, it was like maybe a lead up to Minor Imperfections. It's like those judgment decisions that you make. It's like Close Calls, like leading up to those choices that you make, and everything isn't so perfect as it seems.
For sure. What about Zip It? When did that song come out?
Oh man, I love that song. So you know, I went to elementary school in Vegas. I knew this kid named Griffin, and I moved. I didn't really keep in contact with him, but, you know, he manages a lot of like I want to say EDM, or like, you know, that dance kind of music out in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And I just kept in touch with him through Facebook or something like that, and he put me in touch with 100 Tribin, who produced that track.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I spit my part. John came over, he spit his part, and I love that track.
For sure. What would you say, like, your favorite, like, part about rapping is, like, just making music and stuff like that?
The unknown.
You
know, like, yeah, like the fact that, you know, you can get so frustrated one moment with something, and then you just, like, take a second to relax, and you come back and you maybe struck gold. I mean, like, some of my best moments came after I felt like quitting.
Yeah.
So it's like the unknown is just kind of what keeps you going.
Yeah, I feel that too. Just like making beats, like you'll be like trying to loop a sample or whatever, and like it ain't looping right or whatever, and you just give up, and then you come back and you loop it in like 10 seconds, and you're like, hey, let's go, like this is fire. You throw some.
Exactly. You're like, why wasn't I thinking about this before? You know, but we're here now, so who cares?
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you having on the show. It was.
Yeah.
Thank you
very much, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, much love to you guys, man. Shout out to Bro Show.
Hey,
appreciate it.
Shout out D.Oz. He's gonna get. I'm promising you guys, he's gonna have some fire for sure. What are you dropping?
Thank you guys. Yeah, expect new music soon.
For sure. Yeah, thank you so much, D.Oz.
Thank you.
Yeah, man, no problem. Enjoy the rest of you guys' day.
Yeah, you too, man.
All right, catch you later.
Yep, talk soon. Peace.
Now it's time to flow.
Thank you.